Hey guys, the Watch Out crew is back. Today we've got a fun discussion on all green GMT Master IIs. Come join us. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of our latest video content. Justin, Ripley, nice to see you guys. We've got a really fun discussion today, talking all things GMT Master II.
I love it. It's gonna be a good one.
I know. So Rolex green is kind of the theme within these ones. But before we get to this discussion, I gotta know, what are you wearing? Ripley, what you got?
We're talking about green watches, green Rolex watches, palm dial, obviously the de facto.
Still loving it?
Yeah. It hasn't stopped running. I can't say it hasn't been off my wrist. I have to wear other watches for work, but like it hasn't stopped running, so it hasn't spent a full day off my wrist since I got it. So yeah. Absolutely love it. Can't wait for it to.
Love the green.
What do you got today?
Well, it's GMTs. I'm not getting a GMT, but I got a GMT complication on my Explorer 2. Yeah, just classic. Love it. This one actually is probably hard to tell, but it's got a little spider dial action going on there, which is a nice little touch. Kind of sets it apart. But yeah, got the GMT note.
Looks pretty.
What do you got on today?
Gold.
Ooh, very nice.
I've got a tapestry dial, but this is a Lady President, a nice little 69178 for you. So we want to know what you guys are wearing too. Be sure to let us know in the comments section. All right, as promised, we have an all green Rolex GMT Master II lineup today. We are definitely going to pick our favorite within this group, but before we really get to the discussion, we know we need to do a little overview on when these came out and just some other details. So Ripley, I'll let you kind of kick this off.
Yeah, so not including the off-catalog crazy gem set stuff of as far as standard production Rolex GMT Master II watches. These are all of them that featured the color green from the first time it appeared to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the collection in 2005, all the way up into the left-handed one that appeared earlier this year at Watches and Wonders. So I guess, we think of the GMT, red and blue, we think of Pepsi, we think of all black, we think of Batman, but green really didn't start, Rolex's own company color, didn't start making an appearance until the 50th anniversary of the GMT collection in 2005. So 1955 is when the first GMT came out officially. And then by 2005, we get these two models right here. 116718LN, both of them feature black bezels. One gets the green anniversary dial, but the other one is not an anniversary model because you get a green GMT hand, green text, and a green calendar disc, which is kind of a cool feature that you don't see on the rest of them. The other one, obviously very green, so much green on the dial.
Yeah.
And so that was 2005. This was back when Rolex would roll out different metal updates. So then the following year, we get the two-tone version, black dial, but we still get a green GMT hand and green text. Following year again, 2007, we get the stainless steel version. Again, green text on the dial, green GMT hand. It's important to note that all three of these guys right here, with the exception being the black dial, they feature regular black calendar discs.
Right.
And then the green went absent from the collection after this full black model was discontinued, all the way up until this year when we get green, left-handed, split green bezel, green GMT hand, but no green text on the dial.
Yeah.
And so that's all the green GMTs.
Okay.
And they're all very different, and each one kind of has its own little touches of green on it.
And I like that there's varying amounts of green. If you want to go really subtle, we have, like the green here, where it's really just like that subtle green text on the dial, and the shaft on the GMT hand is green. And outside of that, it's just black and white and stainless, and it's not really so in your face. And then on the other hand, we have the solid gold with that all green dial, which I think is lovely. But it's a lot of green. And then to the most recent, we're having the green on the bezel, which is kind of interesting because it's the first time that there's green on the bezel, which is nice. I personally really like the green bezel.
Same here.
There's a lot of variety when it comes to green GMTs.
I gotta ask a question. You just noted you were a big fan of the split bezel. Did you like it when it was first released?
Oh, I love the split bezel. I love the left-handed one, even though I'm not left-handed at all. I like the split bezel a lot, and I've heard that was probably what Rolex wanted to do with the first series of green ones, but as we recall, back then they had claimed when the first ceramic GMTs came out that it was not possible to make a split color ceramic bezel. Obviously that was changed when the Batman came out, and then later the ceramic Pepsi, but I wouldn't be surprised if their original vision for these first, anniversary GMT watches was for it to have a green and black bezel, but it just wasn't there yet. and then now we're seeing it make its appearance here after they've quite gotten that down.
Yeah.
So we want to know, did you guys like the first initial release of this split bezel? We've all kind of been a fan of it. It was definitely nice to see, but what do you guys think? And I'm not necessarily talking about the left-handed complication aspect, but just the green and black split bezel. So, okay, some really nice features that you guys have pulled out on here. Are any of them screaming, favorite to you more than another?
So I really like the new bezel. That green, green's my favorite color. I got a soft spot for green on watches. Rolex does it really well, being like the company brand color. And to see the black and green bezel is just fantastic for me. I love that. The left-handed part, I'm not quite so sold on. Not that I wouldn't wear it. It's actually pretty comfortable, and it's just a little foreign. I'm used to wearing watches with the crown on the other side, so but I love it. I think it's really nice. And then of course that solid gold big green dial is amazing. I love I love all that in your face green. Green and gold is such a great color combination as well that I think it's beautiful.
Okay, so Justin's made his favorites known. What about you, Ripley?
So, I like all of them, and for all different reasons. If we're just talking objective green GMTs, it's hard not to like that all green dial and the solid gold watch. Okay. So unique, very different. Only green dial here that we're talking about. True. But it's not necessarily the watch you wear with everything and pairs effortlessly with all types of attire. I personally like the left-handed just because it's so different than anything else they've done that it doesn't really bother me. If you wear it consistently like I wear my watches, I'm not going to be really fiddling with the crown much unless I travel, so I'll figure it out at that point and get it then. Where I struggle though is which solid gold GMT I like the best, because I love that green calendar disc on the black dial model. And then with these other two steel GMTs, that black one is just the little pop of green on the dial and hand. It's so versatile. It really could be the watch you just kind of effortlessly wear, but green's my favorite color, and that's a subtle nod. So I'm really kind of torn between it. I'd probably, if I just had to pick two, I would pick the solid gold one and the left-handed one, but I don't know if I actually like the left-handed one better than the all-black one.
Right. The one with the black dial and just the little green on, the green text in the green GMT hand is nice. Like you said, it's that nice little bit of accent of green, a little bit of a nod. If you're not too into, a big color statement, it's still a great watch with kind of just a little bit of character.
It's funny when we all agree, because I definitely feel like I am not the biggest fan of steel watches, but this has always been a favorite of mine. I think it truly is that green text, just the subtle little color on the black.
I wish they did on the current one.
I do. Yeah. And see, I've had a chance to test drive the left-handed GMT, and honestly, little weird, definitely threw me off for the day. It was just not exactly the most familiar. I love the bezel. Everything else on it, it wore really well. Just, it wouldn't be my favorite. I do think they missed the mark just a tiny bit with not having that green text note. Because when I'm picking my favorite, I'm gonna choose an all gold, but which one is it gonna be? The green dial just doesn't quite do it for me. I respect that, it's unique in its own right, and if unique is the name of the game, okay, I can see it. For me, it's that green date disc. Oh my goodness, that is just the final, sprinkles and cherry on top of this, GMT Sunday for me. Mwah, I love it so much. I would seriously enjoy this in my own personal collection for sure.
Yeah, that one's really nice. It's like the classier version, the kind of, a little bit, it's got the black dial, which goes with everything. It's gorgeous. It, to me, it has that real classy feel. But again, with that just subtle green nod, it's enough to have it and enjoy it, but without being, so loud and make such a statement. It's a good one.
And that's for me. If I'm wearing a solid gold Rolex sports watch, let's go ahead and make this statement and just shout. Shout about it. Yeah.
I could see it on you for sure. So it's kind of interesting. These are definitely our takes on sort of the green GMT Master IIs. But as always, we want to know, where do you guys fall in this debate? Which one are you choosing if you had to single one out and literally only take one? We've got to know, which one is it and why?
And also, what's the next green GMT that you think is going to be here? Clearly, there's a trend. There's several of them. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more green GMTs. But
maybe two-tone?
Maybe a right-handed version?
Yeah, it's a possibility, yeah. I think eventually that will happen. We don't know if it's going to be, immediately. I could see Rolex releasing it next. I could see them also having this one out and then discontinuing it, and then years later bringing back the right-handed version.
They just might not do one because it's Rolex.
Yeah, it's all up for debate and speculation.
You never know. Well, that's the fun. So definitely let us know where you guys think the GMT Master II is headed when it comes to sort of this green feature. So you guys, love the conversation. Short and sweet, but really fun. There's nothing more lovely than that Rolex green sprinkled on some watches, especially this bunch.
Well, it's their company color, and for years people always remarked that it was notably absent from the catalog, and that has been dramatically changing in recent years from the palm dial to these, and obviously these aren't isolated incidents.
Right.
Very true. All right, guys, thanks for joining us for this episode of Watch Talk. We will definitely be back with a future episode, so until then, be well.